China just had a successful launch of the Shenzhou 10 spacecraft. Video feeds of Chinese astronauts living it up in the Chinese Tiangong-1 space module orbiting the planet has many Chinese internet users dreaming of space exploration. But as many Chinese internet users pointed out, while many people in China are quite proud of the nation for being able to send people into outer space, it's not as impressive if you think about the accomplishments of America and the Soviet Union half a century ago. Now, many Chinese internet users also pointed out that although China claims to have used self-developed technology, much of China's space achievements are built on the backs of the former Soviet space program, and that compared to American advances in space technology, what China has accomplished is child's play. And so, according to a Weibo post that cites VOA News, many are debating whether the United States should consider unprecedented cooperation with Beijing on space science and exploration missions. According to the original post, the topic is controversial in Washington, where many fear the rise of China's space program, which is controlled by the People's Liberation Army. However, China's space program has made remarkable progress in a very short period of time. But what do Chinese Weibo users think of mutual cooperation between China and the U.S.? Opinions are varied. So now let's take a look at what some Weibo users have to say.
I think cooperation is essential if both countries want to have great achievements in the future. Why divide their efforts? In fact, I think for scientific research, the whole world should work together to reduce redundant efforts. Scientific discoveries are for the benefits of the entire human race. It looks like in order to gain the respect of your rivals, you have to first show that you are capable of surpassing them. To think, back when the International Space Station was being built, China asked to take part in the project and was blocked by the United States from joining. Now they must be kicking themselves. China is a rival that the United States created themselves. The space race is fun because it's a race. Because NASA lost its main competitor after the Soviet collapse, they are only a shadow of their former selves. Thanks to China, NASA will once again be able to relive their old glorious days. Honestly, in terms of the load that we are able to bring into space, we are on par with the Americans, but in terms of technical capability, we are still far behind them. It's too bad that America is spending all its money on bailouts and wars, otherwise they might already have people on Mars.
In just 10 years after launching its first manned space mission, China has already begun preparation for the building of its own space station. The target year for completion is only 7 years away at 2020. China has also developed its own satellite system to rival that of the American GPS system. China's Beidou satellite navigation system has been a priority for China, especially the Chinese military, which had to use the American GPS system for years. However, despite the country's progress, analysts say that Beijing's space program is still decades behind that of the U.S. or even Russia in terms of technology and experience. NASA might also be reluctant to help China make up the gap by sharing American technology, a crucial point that could prevent real in-depth cooperation between the two countries. Now, would China get the short end of the stick? Would Chinese taxpayers have to foot NASA's space bill? Well, let's take a look at a few more Weibo opinions.
Well, that's funny. Even a country like America is afraid of being overtaken. Work together? You think America is a fool? Space is the battleground of the future. If China and the U.S. worked together in space, America would no longer be able to use China as an imaginary enemy. Everybody knows that America's space ambitions are ultimately for the service of their military, yet they are afraid of China's space program? China has already done so much by itself. Why partner with America? America left us out in the cold. Now they want us to pay for their space program? No way. America, a country that always talks about universal values, prevented China from taking part in the International Space Station. China had to work on its space program by itself, and now there's talk in America of mutual cooperation. China has unveiled America's hypocritical mask.
China has yet to plant a little flag on the moon, but that could change in the near future. The Chinese Lunar Exploration Program, also known as the Chang'e Program, is currently planning for a manned lunar landing somewhere between 2025 and 2030.